Welcome to the 29th edition of the Massachusetts Multicultural Film Festival. I am Nefeli Forni Zarvudaki, Assistant Curator. Daniel Pope and Sean Shimpak are the co-directors, and we have Laura McGuff as guest curator. The MMFF would not be possible if not for Professor Barbara Zecki's support, Film Studies Director. It is my pleasure to introduce Chris Couch. Chris Couch is a senior lecturer in the program in Comparative Literatures in the Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures. He holds a PhD in art history from Columbia University and is the author of numerous books and articles on Latin American art and on graphic novels and comic art, including Jerry Robinson, Ambassador of Comics, who is the artist who created the Joker, and the festival cycle of the Aztec Codex Borbonicus. He teaches international science fiction cinema and international history of animation at UMass, as well as multiple courses on comics and graphic novels and on other topics within the 5 colleges. Chris Couch, the floor is yours.
So to introduce Alexi Vakhurushev's Book of the Sea, I wanted to start by saying a little bit about the filmmaker himself. He's from Chukotka, a region in Siberia that's home to a number of indigenous nations, including the Chukchi, who are the, in a sense, stars of this film, and the Yupik people. Vakhrushev is of Yupik descent from his mother's side, and he's really devoted his life as a filmmaker to recording and sharing the stories of the indigenous people of Siberia, his family in a sense. So he began his career with a documentary that was specifically about his own community, the Yupik. It's called The Time When Dreams Melt from 1981. And it was really important to him to share his own Yupik heritage. And his Yupik heritage actually also plays a major role in Book of the Sea, even though the Chukchi are the individuals and community that are shown hunting marine mammals. The myth that's told in the movie, The Woman Who Married a Whale, is actually from the Yupik traditions. But again, they're neighbors, and you'll see when you watch the film how important the myth is to understanding the role that the sea, hunting the animals of the sea, and their relationship to people is in the life of the Chukchi. So the Vakhrushev spent 6 months filming Chukchi whalers and seal hunters and the collectors of auk eggs in order to collect all of the film that he needed for this movie. He traveled out with the hunters and egg collectors 80 times. He made 80 different trips with these, with the wonderful people who are profiled in his film. The 2 major leaders of the hunting groups that we see in the film. One of them is Alexei, who's a community leader in a group of Chukchi sea hunters, and the other one who Vakhrushev was particularly fond of, actually the entire community was very fond of him, Alexander Emelianov, who was a Chukchi person who was a guardian of community knowledge, a guardian of traditional stories, as well as an astounding hunter and a really charismatic individual. Unfortunately, he passed away just before the filming was completed. He was out hunting and actually was caught under the ice and drowned. So the film is dedicated to him and has this element of tragedy. But Vakhrushev said, well, you know, he died doing what he cared most about, which... So the myth, The Woman Who Married a Whale, is intertwined with the different scenes of hunting sea animals and collecting eggs. So there are multiple passages of the myth Vakhrushev hired the wonderful animator Edward Belayev to do the animation for the film. Belayev has done a bunch of popular cartoons in Russia. He's a Moscow-based animator. But Vakhrushev asked him to do something a little bit different for this film, which is to use clay animation. That's the same technique that's used in the Wallace and Gromit films, which I hope you've seen. They're quite wonderful. And Vakhrushev said that he wanted to use a material that's manipulated, some things that are made, because he thought it would give the right tactile and kind of material representation of the mythic scenes. And they're really quite beautiful. You can see the characters are beautifully designed, all the wonderful human and animal combinations, the remarkable little whale that grows up to be a giant whale. They're really quite lively and wonderful. And as the myth unfolds, you see the Chukchi hunters engaging in the activities that the myth describes. It's kind of a foundation myth for the Yupik, and you can see that this film emphasizes this kind of cultural continuity, the relationship to the material and immaterial world that surrounds the Chukchi and the Yupik. And it's really a document of cultural continuity. The continuation of the hunting traditions is really a form of cultural resistance and keeping the culture alive, even though maybe most of the community doesn't make their living from this anymore, but it's really crucial to the identity of the Chukchi to keep these hunting traditions alive, to stay connected to the sea, and to continue to carry out these traditional activities.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to invite you all to come to our live Q&A with the director, Alexei Vakhrushev, on Wednesday, March 23rd.